What's up, YouTube? My Cowboys family bringing you guys another video update.
What's up, everyone?
On the Dallas Cowboys. Give us just a second as we get set up here.
Yeah, we're going to get everything set up, make sure the audio and video looks okay, which it looks fine so far. Get a couple people in here, and we're going to go over some of today's news. What's up, Tobias? How you doing? Boomer Sooner, how you doing?
Yeah, so we are a little quiet.
You guys hear us okay? Husky, how you doing? A little late.
So, all right, guys, let's jump right to it. Boomer Sooner, how you doing? Tobias, how are you? Husky Gaming, what's up?
Well, I guess we'll start with Odell Beckham.
So, unfortunately, Odell Beckham, well, I guess depends on how you see it, but honestly, we never want to see players get injured.
Don't want injuries.
Odell Beckham Jr. suffered an ankle sprain today against the Cleveland Browns. He did not return to the game, obviously. Still no word on whether it's a high ankle sprain or not. It looks like it wasn't, but obviously we'll know more tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, they called it a slight sprain. Right now, it's a slight sprain. So, as far as, it's still, they're doing more x-rays. I'm sure they'll do MRIs, just to make sure. I mean, he probably won't play the rest of the preseason. And, if that occurs...
Who knows if it will keep him out for week 1.
Well,
obviously, we're not sure,
right,
but
it
is pretty likely that he will be back by then, depending on how
they
bad
expect
it
him to be back. The thing is that the big deal is more of, these kind of things are kind of like, I guess, like a hamstring injuries and ankle injuries. They're similar in sometimes.
They tend to linger. They tend to continuously cause problems. So
he definitely won't be 100%. For the Cowboy game. I don't see that being possible. He'll be okay. I'm saying he'll be out there and playing, but I don't think he'll be 100% unless they find something, that was more serious with the injury, which we'll have to wait and see on that. So wait, did Brandon Marshall get hurt? I didn't know he got hurt. Really, he hurt his shoulder.
Ooh. So, well, again, we were watching the Giants game earlier today. We'll definitely be going back and taking another look just to see how they did. But I mean,
that's serious stuff.
Again, it really, we never want to see injuries.
Right. The way I was looking at it is like, I wanted to play the Giants full strength. There's no excuses.
Exactly. Because if we beat them without OBJ and Marshall and all these guys, they're just going to say, "Oh, you guys only beat us because we didn't have."
In the end, we want to win. That's of course in the end. If we win and they're hurt, so be it. But the thing is, that we want to be careful about is that last week we had all starting before the Zeke suspension, we had all the momentum. The Cowboys had the momentum. They were the team to beat in the NFC East. The Giants were right there, with us. And then after the Zeke thing, man, it was like someone popped our balloon. Just they bursted our bubble. We kind of
and you can feel the mood in practice as well.
It changed completely.
Reports were coming out. Everyone's just kind of like
just like really out of it. And the thing is that I think it was then they took this me against the world attitude, and I think they responded fantastic in both last 2 games that they played in preseason and in training camp. They're doing great. Unfortunately, there's a lot of injuries still.
I will say I think part of that is the Cowboys did play we've played pretty well in all of our games, consistently. The Giants were definitely struggling with their offense looked really bad. Eli getting sacked. A lot of drop pass. They didn't look good, and we could see Giants fans. They're a little bit freaked out, like, oh, it's just preseason, and we get that. Yeah. But if that was my team, I would be worried from what I was seeing as well. So Giants,
they look a little bit shaky for sure,
exactly.
Especially on offensive line.
Yeah. So that on top of possibly missing their most dynamic and versatile, offensive player.
And also, then you have Brandon Marshall, the guy who just picked up from the Jets, who he's a big, strong receiver. He could be dangerous. Yeah. He's a little older, but still, those are 2 big injuries. And again, I don't know the extent of the shoulder injury to Brandon Marshall, but that's obviously also breaking news.
Dallas Cowboys football news. Yes, Dallas Cowboys. So let me see. I just want to say hi to everybody watching. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
Sorry, Patrick.
I know a few of you guys are already talking about some of our injuries, so let's go ahead and jump right to it.
Well, but actually, I'm going to stop you there. Okay. I want to do something first because he deserves it. Cooper Rush. I want to start off with him, kicking it off with Cooper Rush. Now, we know what a great game he had on Saturday night against the Colts.
Apparently, Luke McCown was dealing with a minor shoulder injury, which is why he played the entirety of the second half.
And he's also back in practice. But honestly, guys, and I know, how about them Cowboys? He loves Luke McCown, and I understand that. But he just don't worry about him too much. He'll probably just take some snaps in the 4th quarter of this Raider game coming up. But Cooper Rush, we always calling for him. The whole coaching staff, the whole all the management in the Cowboys camp. They got Kellen Moore. No matter what's got to be the backup. And today was a good sign, guys, because we had Cooper Rush playing a lot of second team snaps. So he was playing behind Dak. Now it started with Moore. So Moore did it in the morning warm-ups, but in the team drills and stuff,
Cooper
Rush played a lot more. I mean, he never played as a second guy. So now he's earned himself to that spot. And guys, get ready for this week against Oakland. It'll be a big thing for him and for Moore. And then the final week, I think you're going to see just Cooper Rush playing the whole game. That's what I've been hearing against Houston the last week, which usually all the backups play. But again, he's going to be fighting to basically kick Moore off the team.
Too, yeah.
Yeah. So
Miss Pepper, how you doing?
What's up, everyone?
Sixers, sorry, no. But how you doing? Thanks for joining us here, guys.
Sixers.
So, yeah.
Hey, guys, listen, give us a like if you haven't already.
Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And
Yes.
if you are subscribed, make sure to hit that little bell down below so you don't miss any notifications on when we go live or when we post a video.
Yeah, and quickly, of course, I'm going to mention the Fantasy Football League, a 20-team league.
That's right.
Just
we
for
still
fun.
have 6 spots open, guys.
That's right.
So make
6
sure
spots.
to join before they get filled up.
Should be filled up soon, you know. And the draft is like September 2nd, I think. It's a Saturday, so it's a little less than 2 weeks away. Or, yeah, about 2 weeks away. So, guys, let me just check one last thing.
So Cooper Rush again.
Yeah. We love what he was doing in the games, the last 3 games in preseason. We love what he's doing, you know, in the practices at training camp, and the coaches are finally giving in a little bit.
Yeah, so
and
again,
they put him in there. So
coach, you know, the Cowboys staff still definitely sees Kellen Moore as their their backup quarterback right now. I mean, there's no question about it. They definitely don't want him to go anywhere. They're somewhat happy with him, obviously.
Exactly, Tobias. I just wanted to say that. He's right.
Yes. So, but, you know, you can't deny what Cooper Rush has been able to do. And we said it before, as in the previous game we just finished watching, that we do expect him to play against some starters in this upcoming Oakland game. So
who is this?
Cooper Rush. So
he's gonna play backups
against more.
No, because here's the thing. And again, this is the rookie talking about preseason. She doesn't know how it works. The thing is that the third game, which is our 4th game this season, but it's the 3rd game for all the rest of the teams, except for the Cardinals and us. This 3rd game is the dress rehearsal. So this is the one we play our starters probably to the first half. Now, that goes for most of the starters. Probably Tyron Smith won't be there. Probably Zeke will be, might not even play, but they said he might get a couple snaps. You're going to have, Dak and some other guys probably come out in favor of Cooper Rush or Moore. We don't know yet, but there's no guarantee. Right now, it's still Kellen Moore is the backup right now, and he's going to play as the backup as of right now, this moment. But tomorrow it could change. So we keep in tune there and keep listening to what's happening. We'll definitely update you more on the Cooper Rush, Kellen Moore saga as the week continues leading up to the game day, and of course, game day is going to tell a lot. So we'll see what happens.
And Sixers JT, I actually have heard, and again, I can't confirm anything. There's no verifiable sources, but apparently it isn't Garrett that is a big fan of Kellen Moore. It sounds like Linehan is the one that
Offensive coordinator.
Yeah, so he seems to be the one that really wants to hold on to Kellen Moore. He saw that great game, if you want to call it that he had in 2014, 2015 or something, and he feels like for some reason Kellen Moore is just going to wake up one day
say a great game.
And play, and he's going to have a breakthrough game. So for some reason, again, guys, none of it is confirmed, but...
Now, I see what Dallas Cowboys for Life wrote, and I want to definitely touch on that. That's a big thing here is our injuries, guys. Our injuries, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to try to get close to the microphone so there's no missing here, but I'm going to go through this. Okay, first of all, Jordan Lewis, unfortunately, he was out today with his strained hamstring. I'm hearing, things like...
He might not start until maybe week 1.
Yeah, or he might be on an injured list as we start the season because he hasn't been able to get on the field. Bad news on him, guys. And again, it sounds more like they want to rest him and kind of keep him healthy for the season.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to push him if they don't need to and cause that sprained hamstring to turn into, one of those recurring injuries that never seems to go away.
And I'm going to go to the next guy. Another guy you mentioned there, Chidobe Awuzie. I mean, he was out today. He didn't practice again today. Number 33. We have only seen him in 1 game.
Yeah, he definitely has to. That hamstring and sprained ankle.
Yeah, and he's still, he seems closer to start. And again, he's expected to start this week. We shall see what happens on the defense. And we also have Xavier Woods, who also missed practice again today. Same thing, hamstring. Yeah. So it's not good that those 3 rookies that you just mentioned are not going to be playing. They're not practicing right now. And Ryan Switzer, good news on him. He actually did go to practice today.
So
he was in full pads.
Yeah, as long as he continues to practice and stay healthy, we do expect to see him play during this upcoming game against the Raiders.
Now, as far as his practices, guys, he played with the starting team. He played with the first string team, so that was a good sign. That was in the morning walkthroughs in full pads. They did not have him play team drills today, so that's kind of the bad news. But they're still you can see that they're easing him slowly. But yeah, they didn't put him in full contact. Now, he did play with his pads, with the team drills, on punt returns. So they did specify on that. Now, he did start with the offense, probably like the fourth receiver in the slot or something like that in some formations. He did, obviously play a lot of punt returns with the team drills. So that's a good sign. They're easing him back, but obviously they're focusing on the returns right now. And, of course, a little bit of offense, but they're still going to ease him back slow. You might see a player or two on offense where he's going to be involved. Maybe this week, maybe next week, we'll see. But if nothing is a setback, no setbacks and injuries this week, I think he's going to be playing returns, definitely for sure, and a little bit of offense as well.
So, real quick, Richard Bacham wants to know, do you think that we should have T.J. Watt instead of Taco?
I mean, that's a question that's been asked a lot of times, and I mean, initially you say yes, but someone made a comment a couple streams back, and they said that, he doesn't fit our scheme. See, J.T. Watt does not fit the 4-3 scheme that we run. He fits the 3-4 scheme. And, we're not going to change a whole scheme on our defense. The whole defensive plan because of one player, right? So it's like one of those DeMarcus Ware situations. As soon as the scheme was changed on him, he did not perform as well. And that's the reason why it's a tough choice about those two guys. I mean, you could look at Tack, that guy Tack that was out there. I think he was still available for us. I mean, he might have been someone that could play better than Taco, let's say, but he's injured. So he's still kind of on and off injured. I think he was with the Falcons. So
yeah, and the Cowboys are the type of team, especially this year, they couldn't really take a chance on a guy like Jalen Smith last year that, they could have just like injured or whatever. They wanted guys that are ready to play at least now. They want fresh bodies in there. So
yeah, I mean, I'm going to address what Sixers JT said that.
So while you guys cover Odell's injury, sad to see anyone go down. If it's serious, it'll affect the entire NFC East.
We addressed it already. I'm going to quickly address it again. I don't think it's going to be that serious, but it's going to be serious enough, right, to linger into the regular season. And I think against us, week 1 against the Cowboys,
it could definitely have a contributing factor.
But again, that's what I'm saying. I was saying it earlier. The momentum went away from us to the Giants when Zeke got the suspension. Now, it seems like everybody's like, after our game on Saturday, and now this Odell injury, and now Brandon Marshall also got injured. It is shoulder. He had a shoulder injury. We don't know the extent of that yet. But
so we'll
those two things happening, though, guys, now it's moving the momentum back to our favor, which scares me a little bit because I like us to be confident, but I also want us to be humble. And I want us to go out there and win, against a full team, and I'd rather have us have a guy missing and beat them.
I know, but we already have a guy missing, and that's Zeke.
Well,
and I think that
for now,
for now, but I think that that's humbling enough for now.
Like, for sure, I agree.
So outside of that, Shallow How will the starters play more next week? In this upcoming Oakland Raiders game, absolutely.
Yeah, it's the dress rehearsal game. So that means that they let the starters play usually into the second quarter, deep into the second quarter, or into the half, up to the halftime. So, I mean, definitely expect to see the starters play a lot more. But players like Tyron Smith, players like, maybe Zeke if he plays a couple plays, or even McFadden, you might see them coming out a little earlier. But, and even Dak, too. I don't know if he'll play the whole second half. But, I mean, the whole first half, I'm sorry. So,
Eagle fan, how you doing? Thanks for joining us.
So, yeah, that whole Odell injury is going to definitely shake up the NFC, but I don't see it being a serious injury. I see it something that's going to be more of a lingering issue, which is going to affect the Giants. But I think that right now the Giant fans are freaking out. I heard them on their little channels and chatting and stuff, and they're upset and they're scared. But again, I understand because when we lost Zeke, and it wasn't to injury, but when we lost him for the suspension, they were having a great time with it.
The collective Cowboys fandom just went, oh my God, what do we do?
And every single Giant fan was laughing at us. Listen, I suggest we don't laugh. We don't let the players do the talking on the field, and let's just support our team, not cheer on injuries or anything like that. So I hope the Giants have full strength when they come in with us, so there's no excuses week 1. And we're going to whip their butts. Now, not a blowout, but we'll win. Now, guys, I'm going to switch over to some other injuries. Leon McFadden, he's fighting for a spot as a cornerback. He's not.
23, right?
Yep, he's 23. He hasn't looked that good in the preseason, and he was out of practice today. Now, Justin Durant, he was out, but he's been out the whole training camp, and I want to see him on the field, definitely. But he's a seasoned vet with us, and he knows our system. So I think it's just the old man soreness kind of deal. They're just going to give him like a couple weeks of training camp, not the full 5 weeks or 6 weeks. Tyrone Crawford, of course, he's out, of course, from that injury. Yeah. But they're saying he's on schedule to be ready by week 1. And again, even Stephen Jones, the Cowboys, Jerry Jones' son, he's up there with Jerry making decisions. Yeah. He was on the radio this morning, and he said that even though we have all these guys injured with hamstrings, as we already went through, all the rookies and all these other guys, he said that if barring any setbacks, everybody should be ready for week 1 or before.
Exactly.
So that's a good sign.
You know, from that we can kind of take away that the guys who are starting to slowly come back into practice, like Switzer, will probably be ready before that. But guys possibly like Jordan Lewis might, again, like we said, we might not see him on the field until week 1.
And again, guys, week 1, it might be someone like Jordan Lewis who hasn't even gotten on the field might have to be, you know, put on an injury list. Not a PUP list, but just an injury, like an inactive list or something like that, where they might have to figure something out to put him somewhere for a short-term injury or something. Because if you don't see him, obviously we're not going to cut him, but we can't really just throw him out there against Odell Beckham, injured or not injured.
Exactly, without having seen him in a preseason game at all.
And that's what he would be playing.
So hopefully he recovers this week enough to maybe play at least in next week's final preseason game. You know, he needs some play time out there.
Now, I'm going to throw in a couple guys on offense as far as the injuries are concerned and updates on them. Now, Keith Smith, number 41, our fullback.
Oh, that's right.
Major piece, you know, in our running game. No big deal, guys. He was out today with a sore knee. It's just precautionary. Little bumps and bruises, but I wanted you guys to know, you know, why he didn't practice today. You know, we do need him in there, but I think in the meantime, he's not in there. I think they'll have Rod Smith work as fullback, and that's his key. Is Rod Smith, number 45. He had a great game, but his key is that he's versatile. He could play special teams, he could play running back, fullback, so he can do a lot of things. He can catch out of the backfield. Blocking needs a little help, but he's good
but with
outside
Keith
of that.
Smith injured, you can definitely expect to see Rod Smith kind of pick up that slack a little more.
In practice, for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's just more time for him. That's only going to help him, you know. But for the game, I'm sure you'll see Keith Smith back in. Rico Gathers, again, still in concussion protocol. Everybody, you know, should know that, you know, he's not going to probably practice that much the beginning of this week, but I see him coming back this week for sure and playing out there against the Raiders. Maybe some plays with the ones, or maybe you know an extended time.
It would be nice to see him out there, you know, with.
Well, they did say they're going to play him a lot, so I mean, maybe not all with the first stringers, but they might sneak him in for a couple of plays, and you know, we'll see. But again, right now he was out of practice, unfortunately. We talked about McCown, and I'm going to go back to Byron Bell. He was out of practice, but that's a big blow to his possibilities of making the team, or you know, I'm trying. He's not going to. He's almost losing that starting left guard.
Yeah, and Jonathan Cooper has been playing very well at that spot. Which again, you know, 2 weeks ago we were saying the opposite because Jonathan Cooper was taking snaps in the center, and they had Byron Bell out there.
And now Looney's back, guys. So Joe Looney, even though I don't know if he's going to make the team, but he's playing as our backup center, which is what Joe Looney was doing last week. But now that Looney's back, Looney was out last week, and that's what Jonathan Cooper was doing last week while Bell was working the left guard. But now Cooper played left guard the other night against the Colts, and I thought he did really well. I mean, I think he was underrated on that game. And again, I watched him a lot, and for the most part, he did fantastic. So did Chaz Green. He didn't do great, but he did pretty good. There was a couple standout plays by Chaz Green as well. But they have Chaz Green penciled in as the swing tackle who can play in case something happens to Tyron Smith, which is possible, very possible, probable even for at least a game or two this season. We'll have Chaz Green, who is not reliable when it comes to injuries. So to have him out there for a game or two, that's maybe all he's good for right now. But he looked much better than Byron Bell. And he also today he actually was moved to guard today. He was splitting Chaz Green. He was actually splitting time with Jonathan Cooper today.
At left guard
spot. At left guard. So it's not solidified yet. They're still trying to see if they can maybe push Cooper a little more, or maybe use Chaz Green
can stay healthy enough to secure that spot.
But I mean,
as of now, it looks like they are still kind of trading off, and Jonathan Cooper has a slight edge. But obviously
they're splitting. I mean, Jonathan Cooper has a slight edge because he's been out there. Chaz Green hasn't. So you know, if Chaz Green can really pull it together and get it going and not get injured in the next 2.5, 3 weeks, then he might overtake Jonathan Cooper. But if not, he'll definitely probably end up being our swing tackle and replace Tyron Smith if needed. And Jonathan Cooper will be our starting left guard, which again, he's had a good week this week. I think he was decent last week, but this week he was a lot better.
Yes.
And he's slowly improving every week, which is a good sign.
So let's read through a few of the comments we have here. Some of the comments. So Tobias, Zeke will play week 1. Court case won't be done before September 10th. Again, obviously we'd love to see him out there on the field, but no matter what, if he is suspended, either it's going to happen this year or next season.
Well, August or in the middle of the season.
Or in the middle of the season.
August 29th, though, guys, is the big ruling. We got to see what happens there.
Step at a time. That's all
exactly.
We can say.
August 29th, which is next Tuesday, I think, is when it's going to hit the fan. So, we'll know at least if he wins his appeal or not, and if he does, how many games they take off.
And
so
we'll
that's
definitely
a big
be
deal.
keeping you guys updated, so keep an eye out that day. Let's see. Sixers JT. If Odell is healthy by week 1, they better not rush him back, or else he could be re-aggravate and ruin the Giants' season. that could change the whole scope of the NFC. So Giants doctors have to make the right call.
That's
again,
true. We'll see what happens, but he's a
he's
competitor.
And again, you can't deny the fact that Week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys, their biggest NFC rival,
Tobias,
starting off the season again like this, it's a big game. So he's gonna want to be out there. Him not being out there would be a huge blow.
And Tobias, Giants are gonna go 6-10 with or without him. Definitely not with him. Definitely not with him. Without him, bigger chance. I still think they can still get through better with a 6-10 record because of their defense. Let me see. They do have. You're right about the worst O-line or running back combo. I don't know about the worst in the league, but definitely one of the worst.
I'm sorry, but if the Cleveland Browns can make you look like
just
a high school team,
just preseason.
But it's still the
just preseason. Doesn't matter.
It still looks like high school.
Let me school her on something here. The 0-16 Detroit Lions were 4-0 or 5-0 when they went in preseason. Just saying. Just wanted to throw that out there.
So
that same year.
All right, yes, Eagle fan. We're really excited for the draft.
We're ready to roll against you guys. I know your team.
We did a little mock draft yesterday, so we're studying. We're looking things up.
I will say we're a little behind on our fantasy though this year because we haven't really. We have a couple drafts coming up.
Yeah. So honestly, this has taken up a lot of our time. Yeah. But honestly, at least we know the Cowboy players.
Well, yeah, they're definitely.
So
Tobias. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sixers, I agree. Tobias, Giants would be scary with a healthy team and a good running back.
They'd be much better,
And Tobias, just a running back won't do anything. Need a good O-line. That's hard to do. The Cowboys took 3 years to build this monster and also need to pick the right players. According to PFF, Cooper was the best player of the game.
Yeah, no, don't put too much into the PFF thing because they got some wacky-ass things. But, yeah, I agree. Again, this is not even a PFF. This is my
personal opinion.
My opinion of what we saw. He just seemed to stand out. Well, because we were watching him, all the guys stood on our offensive line. They did fantastic. But I mean, Cooper really looked like he did not make mistakes like he did his first week, the first week against the Cardinals.
There's a definite improvement from week 1 to now.
and no mistakes by Byron Bell had a lot of mistakes too last week. So, when he came in as a backup too, in the week 1, he also had a lot of mistakes. Not as many last night, but still, just too many. I mean, not last night, but against the Colts. But still, Cooper definitely outshined him, and he's starting there, and I think he's winning the competition right now. As of right now. Let's see. Who will win who will win? It's up in the air, Shallow Hal. I hope you joined.
So you did join. That's right. If any of you guys haven't already, make sure to check out the link in the description down below. Rodent Mums. Hey family, haven't gotten your email yet for fantasy football.
It's at the bottom of the
so click the link in the description down below. You go ahead and join, and you should just get like a confirmation.
It takes you right to the page.
Yep.
You might have to sign in and maybe make an account for YouTube. For Yahoo. But once you make the account, just go ahead and sign in, and you should already have. If you click the link at the bottom, it takes you right to the league, and you just sign in.
Yeah, and this weekend we will be posting a video. Just giving you guys the basic information. Yeah, should be with just the basic information on the league, and if you guys have any kind of questions, feel free to send us a message or ask here on the stream. But the draft is September 5th.
September 2nd.
Sorry,
she's in preseason mode.
Oh, September 2nd. Sorry.
It's a Saturday night, guys. I don't know. It's like 9 or 10 Eastern time, but we'll see. It's still just keep changing back. Anytime it's changed.
But just make sure to join, and you guys should get all of the updates.
For sure. And guys, hit like if you haven't already. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Just want to repeat that.
So and Sixers, nobody cares about the Redskins.
No Redskin fans are coming around. I think because they know they're like the 4th team in the division. Now, guys, I talked about Joe Looney. I want to talk about a couple other guys that again, Ryan Switzer we spoke about, but Sean Lee. Our leader on defense. He finally was back in practice today, guys. Great news. We knew it was precautionary, but he was back in practice, full pads with the first team. Doing his usual thing. Anthony Brown, guys. If you remember, he got hurt against the Cardinals in the first week of the preseason against the Hall of Fame game. Number 30, our starting cornerback, and he's going to be our starting cornerback. I'm pretty sure of this. He's back, full pads in practice with Sean Lee, both with the first team. Again, I think our corners. Minus the Nolan Carroll, I think he'll be a starter, but he'll have the DUI suspension probably. He haven't announced anything yet. You'll have Skandrick, of course, and you'll have Anthony Brown when we play that nickel, which is what we're going to usually play is that nickel. So let's see what happens with that. Now, Chaz Green, we spoke about him. He split time today with Cooper, Jonathan Cooper.
So Des Bryant. Des looked amazing today. He had kind of a little, I don't want to say a tiff, but he made a... there's a flag on him. I think it was on
Nolan
him.
Carroll.
With Nolan Carroll, he kind of gave him a little attitude, threw the ball to him, and it just.
And the defensive guys didn't like that. Sean Lee and DeMarcus Lawrence, they didn't like that. Des did that.
Yeah, but Des was on fire all day today, guys.
Des burned him constantly. He burned him deep. He burned him short, and that's
Yeah.
Nolan Carroll. And again,
And
Nolan
who's
Carroll
supposed to be one of our starting quarterbacks.
Right, but guys, remember, I think they're trying to throw Nolan Carroll into the fire right now. Really get him ready against the better guys because they need these guys to stay healthy. Because with all our rookies out and not really a chance to see what they have, we need these guys to really produce. Some guys like Nolan Carroll and Skandrick and Anthony Brown. So
exactly.
they're giving them tough matchups on purpose.
We need to push them because they're going to face some of the best, and they need to be able to keep up.
Yeah, no, it says here. It says here that let me see here. It's saying that you have to need a code. Everybody else here joined, and there's no code. Try that link again at the bottom of the page, man. Give it a shot. Let me see. Tobias, Cowboys are the best team in the division of NFC East, most competitive. I would say the NFC East and the AFC West are the most competitive divisions, guys. Remember, we happen to play the AFC West this season.
Exactly. So
the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Broncos, the good defense, and the Chargers, the LA Chargers. Yeah. So, guys, we're playing against another tough division. So it's going to be all 4 teams in our division is playing them. So we have the same schedule except for 2 games on all 4 schedules. The only thing is 2 teams are different. So
exactly. So again, the whole NFC East definitely has a big challenge this upcoming season, and between just us as well, the NFC East is, like we said, the second most competitive division facing. Yeah. The most competitive division, so it's going to be some great
battles.
Yeah.
And I will say that sticking with our cornerbacks, we talk about Nolan Carroll and about Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown's back in practice, full pads, and hitting and everything.
Skandrick.
Orlando Skandrick, guys, as you guys remember, he got hurt in the Indianapolis game. And it was a little scary there. We didn't know what was going on. It was a supposed concussion. It ended up being not a concussion, so it was just probably precautionary. They didn't know really if he had a concussion or not.
And they definitely didn't want to put him back in the game and risk him getting injured.
Right. So they held him out, and he was back full pads in practice today, in team drills, hitting and everything. So that's a good sign. He did get burned by Dez as well. Dez took him to school
too.
Like
we said, guys, Dez was on fire today. He was burning everybody left and right,
Dak's passes,
making some great
and
catches.
Dak's passes looked fantastic. He threw one to
Williams,
T. Will in the corner. Yeah, I mean, Dak is looking fantastic, as you saw against Indianapolis, and they had most of their starters, if not all their starters, out there. Yeah. So we again, not that they're a good defense, but it's still their first official offensive drive, and they went 95 yards and scored in a couple minutes. Yeah. Fantastic.
So let's see here.
I also have Byron Jones listed today. I mean, he had a couple of one-on-one battles today. He did fantastic, Byron Jones. I mean, and again, I keep tooting his horn because I think he's going to be a Pro Bowler this year. If we can keep our defense around 14th, 15th, or higher than that, or better, I think he's going to be a Pro Bowler. He's a leader back there in the defensive backfield, and we need him back there at the safety spot, really telling everybody what to do, and getting all the rookies together and really establishing some confidence back there.
So
I think it's
how
going to help.
about them Cowboys? How you doing?
What's up? How about them Cowboys?
Let's see. So, Rodemuspum.
Yeah.
85 Brown made a good catch in the game Saturday. He, Baby Dez, number 85 Noah Brown, has really come out. Definitely looking like a receiver.
It's gonna make
that we could definitely use on our team, but because of some needs in other places, we're not 100% sure if we might be able to hold on to him.
See, that's the thing,
He'd be
guys.
a great asset.
What do you guys think? I mean, we keep our 3rd quarterback. Do we keep our 4th running back? Okay, I'm talking about Zeke Zeke suspended. Yeah. Do we keep our 4th tight end, or do we keep our 6th receiver? You can pick 2 of those guys, 2 of those 4 groups. You got to pick one of, 2 of those 4. So, let us know what you think is better, because I personally think we let Kellen Moore go. We keep an extra tight end. We keep the extra receiver. So we keep Hannah, Swain, Rico Gathers, of course, and Witten, of course, and we keep the 6 receivers with Noah Brown, because you can't afford to lose him. And I don't mind losing Kellen Moore. I don't mind trading Morris. So it's kind of we can work something like that. I know everybody like Morris out there, but we have to make some difficult cuts. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Cowboys end up doing by the time this preseason is winding down.
Yeah. So I definitely personally think that we'll be keeping all 4 tight ends. I don't see I think the Cowboys depend too much on their 2 so far somewhat solid blocking tight ends, Swain and Hannah. Obviously, Witten is, Mac Daddy. And, Rico, is a great receiving tight end. He'll continue to develop his blocking, but I think all 4 of them are definitely going to stay on the team. I don't think we're going to end up getting Noah Brown. As much as I want him on the team. I just don't see the Cowboys team making that decision. No. I do have a feeling he's going to end up slipping through our fingers and getting picked up by somebody else.
Yes,
he's definitely not going to make it to our practice squad if we end up not being able to keep him.
Yeah, no, I'm going to jump back on that in a minute. But Richard, Skandrick is fine. We just spoke about him. He's going to be fine. He was back in pads today, hitting, going up against
he just kind of hit
one-on-one.
The turf a little hard, and
just,
he just
it was
wanted
all precautionary.
To keep it safe.
But I want to go back to how about them Cowboys, about the about cut Kellen Moore for Cooper Rush. No, that's what we said. Our quarterback 3 right now in our minds is Kellen Moore. On the Cowboys team, it's unfortunately number 3 is Cooper Rush. Yeah. But in our minds, Kellen Moore, and I mean, and number 3 is Kellen Moore. And if we're gonna cut somebody, I say cut Kellen Moore, keep Rush.
I agree.
Because we know what Kellen Moore can do, and it's not very good. And we don't know what Rush can do, but at worst, he can't be worse than Moore. Just can't be.
So, and then thoughts on OBJ and BM injuries. So we did touch on those earlier. OBJ does have an ankle sprain.
It's a slight ankle sprain.
Yeah,
is
so
the word.
It's still going to affect him a little bit, even if he is healing fine and week 1.
Yeah, I mean, they're still going to do an MRI, and they're going to still do. I think they did X-rays, but I don't think it's a break of any sort. But we don't root for injuries, guys. Yeah. And it sucks. We want the Giants, and we want to beat them at full strength. But I will say this, these injuries with him and with Brandon Marshall with a shoulder injury.
They could definitely affect them.
It definitely could affect the Giants against us, and especially if we somehow can still have Zeke on a team with this thing if it goes into the regular season with his appeal and his injunction if he gets it, if he needs it, So if that happens, I think you're going to see the tables turned. But then that also adds the pressure. It's put up squarely on the Cowboys team, and we got to be at home. We got to be, the Giants swept us last year. Now they got 2 guys that are kind of injured, and we have Zeke back.
Exactly. So the pressure kind of comes back on us. But I think either way, the pressure's on us because we did lose the last 3 times we played the Giants. So, this is kind of our big comeback game. If we can't pull it off here, we're definitely going to be wiping some egg off our face for quite a while.
Back to that question, though, as I see them saying that, I mean, I just think that, Kellen Moore, and I know he helped Dak, and I think Dak's his own man now. So I don't think he needs that help by Kellen Moore anymore. I think he's bypassed Kellen Moore and all the help that he's going to be getting from him. And I think that, Luke McCown, he's not going to have enough to challenge for that second spot. Cooper Rush, obviously, is the guy that can challenge for that spot, but he is young and inexperienced, and we don't know what he can do. That's why I say somehow you got to keep Cooper Rush on that team. Quarterbacks will be picked up like this very quick when they hit the waiver wire. Now, Morris, he's going to be one of those tough cuts or trades. We might have to get rid of someone like him.
Again, I've said this before. I'm definitely more on the trade side of things.
Yeah, and Hillman's definitely gone. I mean, he's not going to make the team. Hillman will not make the team with what he's shown.
Not just what he hasn't shown, but what Rod Smith has shown.
There you go.
That made a big difference in how much playtime Hillman got as well.
Very much.
Easy decision on that part as far as the Cowboys.
But again, the hard decision is who is gone. So Hillman might be gone, but then who else might have to go from the running backs? And if we don't have Zeke, do we keep Morris for the extra couple weeks if that's all we need him for? Do we take that chance? Again, it might be a way of slipping some of these guys onto some kind of injury list or some kind of situation where they can stay on the team without being cut. But we got to wait and see. It's going to be a tough thing on offense.
And how about them Cowboys? I would rather keep Kellen Moore than Mark Sanchez any day of the week, hands down. Keep butt fumble away from our Cowboys.
I agree.
Thanks, awesome. Sorry,
Boomer Sooner. I don't think that Noah Brown's going to slip to the practice squad. That's the problem.
I don't think he stays there. He's played very well. I know everyone jokes and calls him Baby Dez, but he has a lot of potential. He's a big guy. He moves really fast. Yeah,
I agree.
Definitely somebody's going to grab him. And as far as quarterbacks, too, even if we cut Kellen Moore, he's going to get picked up quick. There's too many teams out there that are very, very desperate for
the
even
Browns
a halfway
or
crappy
the Jets or the Niners.
Ravens,
you never know.
I mean, you never know.
I like what like they said here that about signing. How about them Cowboys said about signing Sanchez in case if we cut Moore and get Sanchez? I wouldn't be okay with that. It would be like basically using up another spot. If we're going to do that, might as well keep Kellen Moore. But Again, that's keeping Kellen Moore and Cooper Rush. But again, like Sixers, JT said, he goes, Sanchez wasn't cut yet. I'm surprised the Bears didn't cut him yet. I mean, how does he stay on the team? I don't know.
Again, I think it just shows how desperate the Bears are.
No, it's a camp arm probably. That's what I'm thinking. He's just going to be a camp guy for a couple of years, and he's out of the league. Let me see here. Smith and McFadden stays. So Smith, Rod Smith, McFadden, of course, Zeke. Those are the 3 guys I see on our defense, and of course Keith Smith, our fullback. Right. So I mean, that's what I see too. Even with Zeke, being suspended if he's going to be caught on that. Simus, 1974, what's up? Just want to say hi and give us a like and subscribe if you haven't, man. We appreciate you being on this channel.
Yeah, thank you every single one of you guys who's joined us so far.
I'm saying I've seen some of his videos. Cowboy for life. All right, love that. Tobias, yes, he was in Chicago. Yep, Sanchez looking good in Chicago. Ha ha. I don't know if you can say that with a straight face.
That's why there's laughing emojis.
How about them Cowboys? We don't even want Sanchez. Let me see here. He always looks like a Hall of Famer in preseason. Yeah, that's the problem. He's not even. I mean, geez, he does look better in preseason. I will say, but when it
comes down to real game time,
he might as well just take a knee.
So Tobias, Jordan Carroll versus Joey Ivy is another interesting decision. That's right, and Joey Ivy has been playing pretty well.
But here's the thing with that, Tobias. I will say, whether it's one of these 2 guys or both these guys, they're not going to make the 53. They won't make they make the practice squad very much so. I see that being a possibility, especially Joey Ivy when we drafted him, and he does seem to get through there a little bit. I know so did Carroll a couple times, but I will say that I think that those would be practice squad players. Let me see here. Simons, hi guys, what's up? Dallas Cowboys for life. I would cut Hannah and keep Noah Brown. And that's one of those things with Hannah.
Yeah.
We agree with you. Hannah and
earlier,
Swain.
Yeah, earlier this week we were kind of debating if we ended up only keeping 3 tight ends, which tight end do you cut? As far as obviously assuming Rico would be the second tight end. So at first you were saying cut Swain, and I was saying cut Hannah. Then we kind of talked about it, and Swain is the overall better tight end.
He seems to
and
get
again, he's
more
not as fragile.
Receptions, yeah, but again, he's also lost the whole season and another half season because of and Hannah's lost a bunch of seasons. So all these things together, guys, it's a tough thing. But we need what I'm hearing is we need both those guys to be our blocking tight ends, and we're gonna have to keep both of them. If that's the case, and I do see that happening, and if we keep Noah Brown, I mean that means that Morris has to get traded and we cut more.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying on offense, on the offensive side. If we could find a way to sneak one of those guys on, I would say definitely do it, but it's going to come down. It's going to lose some good players, guys. It's got to face that fact.
And Simon 74, Jerry Jones has come out and said he absolutely will not sign Cap. We've spoken about this before. Everyone has the right to, their First Amendment right to say
and there's nothing
what
in
they
NFL,
want to say and believe what they want to believe.
Nothing in the NFL says they can't do that. So when people start screaming that, I'm like, no, you can't take their salary.
Exactly. So, and honestly, at the end of the day, you have to look at your team needs, and we think that Kaepernick would really fit the Cowboys' offensive scheme very well. And as a backup quarterback, he would do a very good job, I think, if he was needed in that position to kind of at least hold the team together and manage
guys, he can do run option. He can do the quick passes, the slant. And that's all we really need from a quarterback right now that can just hold the fort down, hold it down until we get back. And that's the key. Kaepernick would do that. He would be a very slight, deterring from our game plan. So I think that's where we lose out. But again, Jerry Jones is very adamant about that, and he's the owner. He can do what he wants. I mean, Kaepernick can do what he wants, and Jerry Jones can do what he wants. So
exactly. So, but if it was obviously up to us,
I would take Cap in a heartbeat, and he'd be the most expensive backup in the league. But at least we'd have him on our team, and we solidify any kind of mess ups. We know he's a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, at least for one season, and he had a couple other good seasons. He's not the best thrower, accurate passer, but he can run. And he would do enough, I think, in our system that he would do well. That's what we believe. So I mean, let's see.
Tobias, Hannah is the best blocking tight end on the team, according to Broadus.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Again, he says that, and I understand that, and I get it. The same way that Chaz Green is a better player than Jonathan Cooper.
Got to be on the field.
But exactly, much like Chaz Green right now, kind of lost the spot to Jonathan Cooper and Byron Bell. Were competing. Hannah can't stay healthy. Hannah is constantly dealing with something or other. So if he's not going to be out on the field playing, what's the point of having him?
Yeah, no, I see here, Simon says, thoughts on Lenny Jones and Dan Skipper. I watched Lenny Jones, number 56, the last game. He had a couple decent plays. I think he was better the first 2 games. Dan Skipper, he missed the block. I did realize him one time missing a block, but he also had a better 2 games, week 1 and week 2. This week, I think they both kind of had a little more letdown games, but I still think they're both in the running to make the team at least on the practice squad. Practice squatters for sure.
Yeah. So Boomer, thanks for joining us.
Let me see. Shalaha, Cap, no Russian. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just see where he's heading out. So.
Oh, okay. See you later, man.
So Boomer, thanks for joining us
Boomer
again.
Sooner.
We'll see you
tomorrow.
Time, all right?
We'll be back on tomorrow. Let me see here. Cowboys don't need Cap. Teams that actually need him that won't sign him. I agree with that too, like the Ravens and the Dolphins. I think.
But again, I think that they're not signing him out of fear of the backlash that signing him would bring.
And also the controversy to the team. It's going to put pressure on some other guys. I don't know if they want to. Again, it's the owners. They get the right to. It's a business right. They can do that. But I will say that personally, I think it's sad that that teams won't get him, and this has come to that big of a situation. Today the Browns had like 10 guys sitting out on the anthem. It's going to become a bigger movement. Eventually, people just have to accept the fact that, they are allowed to do that. And that is perfectly fine. I have no problem with that. I don't have a personal problem with that. They weren't doing national anthems with the players on the field until after 2009, when the military paid like $5 billion or something like that or I don't know, some crazy number to put this in the beginning of every football game with all the players out there, making more intertwined the patrioticness of football in America together, which again, now created this political issue. But that only started in 2009. It wasn't like this forever. The players would be in the locker rooms, guys, waiting to come out. And after they do the national anthem, they come out. Exactly, guys. So you got to balance all these things and look at it in perspective, and just keep it. And again, look at it with the Constitution of the United States. Kaepernick, I don't care about the money he makes here in America or his stance, you like it or not, doesn't matter. You know why? Because he has that right. And in the end, there's nothing saying in the NFL. Some jobs you have to abide by their rules. The NFL has no rules like that, not yet. So
exactly.
That's the way. Just like Goodell can make all the decisions right now.
The players can choose to express their
correct.
thoughts.
Use
and
their platform
exactly.
to do that. So, anyways, enough of that, guys.
I'm gonna jump down a little lower. Oh my God, I am so sorry. I mess up your name every time. Rhoda Muspum. I wonder what is the love connection with Linehan and Moore, and Tobias kind of said it that it was his IQ, and honestly, we've heard it said over and over that Kellen Moore has this great football brain. He really understands it. There's been some comments from Cowboys staff as well that Kellen Moore was a bigger help to Dak last year in the season than Tony Romo was, as far as helping guide him and mold him, and take it with a grain of salt.
I still think Tony Romo was the man that helped him the most.
Yeah, so I think people are trying to underplay what Tony Romo actually brings to that team and trying to overstate what Kellen Moore brings to the table because no one is seeing it. The Cowboys staff are the only people seeing it.
Well, they don't want to. The Cowboys staff is not seeing it. I mean, that's what you're saying, right? I mean, they must obviously be seeing something, or they know something that we don't.
He's mentally. There's a reason he's still there.
Obviously, he's mentally ready for football, understanding it. Kellen Moore.
Yeah, but when he goes out on the field, whatever's up here doesn't translate to this here.
Yeah, and physically, I don't think it physically translates. And also, his reads aren't that great. He doesn't know how to really read the defense as well as Cooper Rush, even in my opinion. So again, I know Cooper Rush plays against lesser opponents, and I still am a big, proponent of putting him in there with the second team, so he gets against better opposition. Play against some backups.
Yeah.
Second stringers, not third stringers and fourth stringers, or guys that are not going to make the teams, but play him against guys that are going to be on depth on some of these teams. And sometimes they might still have a couple starters in there to try to work them in there. So it'd be nice to see Cooper Rush out there with better opposition, just to give him a little more game experience, real game experience. Now, but I agree, the backlash is stupid with Cap.
Yeah.
Noah will be picked up by somebody else. And let me see if I have anything else. I did want to say something else, guys. I talked about Byron Jones, but Cedric Thornton, guys. I wanted to mention to him. It's number 92. He's a defensive lineman. He was one of the starters to start the season, but right now, my favorite, I know, number 55, Stephen Paya. I mean, he was very
kicking ass and taking names,
yeah,
guys.
He was very disruptive this last game against the Colts. Even he didn't get sacks, he didn't get any stops for any tackles or anything, but he caused that almost Scandrick interception where he hit off his helmet. That was all Stephen Paya. Watch that play. He pushed the pocket back into the quarterback. The quarterback rushed it. He also, every play, he has such a quick first step. He gets in there and just is disruptive. I think he's going to be our starter. Now, we do have a rotational defense. But, again, he'll come out in some plays. And you see Cedric Thornton will come in. But he's lost his spot, Cedric Thornton, in my opinion. And he was out today in practice. He would not – he actually did not – he was out there playing and practicing in the warm-ups, but he wasn't doing the team – he wasn't doing team drills.
Okay.
So he was kind of with Switzer on that. They didn't do team. They kind of left after they did the walkthroughs and stuff like that. They went into team drills.
Is he dealing with some kind of minor injury?
Yeah, he's had injuries. He's just general soreness is what, and I think after the Rams game. So he's still kind of bothered by it, and he hadn't played. So Stephen Paya, Malik Collins, those are our two starters in the middle right now, with DeMarcus Lawrence on one side and Benson Mayowa. So he did fantastic, Mayowa. I mean, again, he's one of those guys that we've been talking about. 6 sacks last season. He only played 10 games or 11 games last year because they benched him because they had nobody going in as a defensive end. They didn't know who to put in, so they kept rotating different guys and giving him different chances. And they finally put him back in, and he had woke him up. So I think Mayowa is somebody to keep an eye out for, number 93.
Yeah, and so far training camp he's been doing very well.
Very well.
He's been doing
amazing. And in the games too. This is his first game.
His last game was great. So
he did great. I mean, he stayed in the spot. He stayed disciplined. He put a little bit of pressure on the quarterback, a little bit of disruptiveness. So we like that. And again, guys, it's a rotational thing. So remember, when he's out and Lawrence is out, then you're going to have Taco in. You're going to have David Irving in. You're going to have Tyrone Crawford in. You're going to have Cedric Thornton in. You're going to have Charles Tapper in. I mean, guys, we have Montre Moore. I didn't even mention him. He's going to be gone for 2 games. So, guys, our defense, even though it's we got 8 or 9 players rotating in, it's going to be our defensive line, our front, especially after week 2 and week 4. Once we get to week 5, we're going to be ready to roll. I think we're going to be that high-level defense. We're going to make mistakes because we're young and we're new. And it's going to take some time to get together on that. But I think once we do, guys, I think our defense will be solid enough to get at least top 15 in the league this year. If we do that, we'll be right where we were last year, guys, with our offense churning away, controlling the clock. And I think our defense has a better future than we had with the other scrubs like Carr and Claiborne. We never liked them, but they had a good year last year, but we never really, really liked them. So
let's see here. Richard asks, how are our corners looking in practice?
Our cornerbacks are okay. I mean, it's hard, guys.
We have a lot of injuries right now that are definitely affecting the depth at that spot, and some rookies that we definitely wanted to see.
Right now, we brought in
Jordan Lewis.
They brought in 3 guys, and I think one of them was Butler, number 37 last week. They brought him in, but I thought he didn't have a very good game. And again, he's one of 3 guys they brought in and signed to play like as camp bodies and then play into the fourth quarter to not have an injury like happened to Skandrick. But I think that our corners are going to look good. I mean, Nolan Carroll, I will say, has surprised me a little bit, especially with the tackling and the way he played in preseason games. He looked decent. I will say, I know someone made fun of me for saying that, and trust me, I think it's funny me saying that. But from what I've seen from him, and I'm not just saying that because he's a Cowboy, I'm saying that I expected less from him, and he's shown more. So at least in that sense, I'm pleasantly surprised. But I don't think he's some awesome shutdown corner. No way. Now, Anthony Brown, I think, has been one of the better corners in the last season. And I think he still has that ability to do what he did last year.
He's continuing to improve. We saw great things from him before that little hamstring
injury. In that game, he was doing very well. And then Skandrick, I mean, he's a veteran. He is injury prone as well. But I think that everybody has this new fire under their butt this year. And I think he's ready to get out there and really compete.
In the air. We felt it last year with just the way the Cowboys team came together. It's definitely there this year as well, and you can see it in the way that the players are playing.
For sure, guys. So, I mean, I think we're not going to be as horrible as people think, especially with Jalen Smith. We didn't even mention him. But the way he played that last game, he did that swipe, right? But he just looked like he was confident. He looked like he was ready to get out there. He's not going to go out there. He's not going to be a starter right now, guys, no matter how much we want to see him out there as a starter. I'm being real. He's not going to start. But he'll, by midseason, he will start, or he might be starting. And again, you got Justin Durant, who they haven't even worked out yet out there. So, they're going to have Damian Wilson probably suspended. So who are you going to put in there? I mean, right now, it's going to be either Smith, Jalen Smith, it's going to be Kyle Wilber, or it's going to be, Justin Durant, obviously, he should be out there and ready to go. But then, you also have Mark Nasacha even. But again, he didn't look that good last night. He made a couple mistakes. So he's like our bubble guy as a linebacker, our 7th guy. And I don't know if he's going to be able to pull enough to make it. Let me see some questions here.
So
Madden comes out tonight, by the way, for the pre-order, like the extra special ordered copies.
Whoever got the extra expansion packs and things like that, you should be getting your pre-order tonight. We are cheap and we don't care, so we get ours next week.
We get ours whenever it's supposed to really come out. I think the 25th, in a couple days or something, whatever.
So
cornerback's looking good.
Back to the Cowboys if he gets cut by the Panthers. I didn't mean back to the Cowboys. I meant back with Dak. And then Tobias, D-line's loaded. We don't have that stud like Watt or Von Miller. It's okay. We spend our money on the O-line.
Exactly.
You can't have them all.
The O-line controls and actually helps our defense by controlling the ball, running clock, and scoring touchdowns instead of field goals. That's the most important thing, guys. Of course, we have to kick a field goal. We got Dan Bailey. No problem. But we want touchdowns. We don't want a 37-yard field goal, 4 times in a row, like we did 2, 3, 4 years ago a lot at the time. And Sixers JT, Cedric Thornton is a Cowboy, unfortunately. But I will say, I know he was supposed to be. He didn't do that much last year for us, although he was a good run stopper. So, and again, our run stop defense this year, I think, is going to be, like last year. They were number 1 last year, and I think we're going to be challenging for number 1 this year again. But with or without Thornton, I think Thornton's moved back to a rotational backup right now. So he'll play a lot, definitely on rushing down, running plays. But he wasn't as good as what I think the Cowboys expected him to be, Cedric Thornton.
Yeah.
They're definitely disappointing. That's what gave Stephen Paya, who wasn't even supposed to make the team.
Yeah, Stephen Paya kind of came out of nowhere, snuck in, and just blew up.
Nobody's even talking about him, but you know what's funny?
I like it that way.
Yeah, I mean, wait till, I've seen him in training camp, and this guy, every time I see a guy coming through, it's always him. He gets through Travis Frederick and Zach Martin, and I'm like, how does this guy do it every time? He's so quick off the snap. He has
such a quick initial burst of speed. Like as soon as he starts moving, he already looks like he's moving.
He's ready to get through the hole.
It's such a great quick acceleration. Some guys need an extra step or two, before they really get moving. So it's nice to see someone who has that kind of quick burst of speed.
And he's
that
very
even though
good.
he doesn't get in there every time,
and even though he's
so fast, he still, like you said earlier, disrupts the play and just causes chaos.
But the thing is with him is he's like a little, I keep saying, a fire hydrant with arms. And the thing is that his little arms are so fast, like T-Rex arms. So he's just like whoop, 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 and he moves around and he's through there. I mean, he does that to Travis Frederick and Zach Martin, some of the best in the league. He's going to do it against other guys. And again, guys, they were doubling him in this game. He didn't get through, but he pushed the whole pocket back into the quarterback, and that is fantastic.
Look, I hate to keep talking about this, but guys, week 1, he's gonna shred that Giants O-line. He's gonna murder them.
If you guys saw the Giants offensive line today, it's unfortunate for them. Fortunately for everybody else, in the East, and anyway who plays them, you know, the Giants definitely are gonna have they have the receiver quality and the tight end quality. They have the receiver and tight end quality, but they don't have the offensive line or the running back quality. And honestly, they have a pretty decent quarterback. I'm never gonna say he's a great quarterback because he's not, but you know, he's interception prone, so that always keeps us in the game. We always rely on Eli throwing a couple picks.
First half, at least the part that I saw, he definitely threw one interception and he almost threw another. So.
See, I don't know, Sixers JT. Have you been listening to my streams? Because
I knew there's a reason he looks and plays like Wentz.
And that's what I've said that multiple times.
Ron Weasley.
I said that multiple times that he looked like Wentz. Like he looked like, again, not as good as Wentz yet, but he has that stature. He stands in a pocket. He looks like Wentz when he's in the, you know, he surveys he looks through his reads. Yeah, exactly.
So
they have the same look.
They're gingers.
Yeah, and you know, they're big guys too. You know, they look similar, but they also play similar. So that's always, you know, if you're comparing to if he's a Philly fan, if I'm comparing him, he's comparing him to you know, Cooper Rush to a Wentz, who's a second overall pick in the draft. I'll take that.
Yeah, and the thing is, again, it keeps coming back to this. If Cooper Rush looks like
told you,
you know, Carson Wentz. If they have similar playing styles and similar things, why the heck do we still have Kellen Moore? Why is this still a question?
I know.
I'm sorry.
Stubbornness from the coaching staff.
You know, imagine having Dak Prescott as your starter and Carson Wentz as your backup quarterback. I mean, everybody here would just throw a party in the streets. You know, that's.
And yes, I agree with the Dallas Cowboys
for life. Tony Romo is your backup quarterback. You can't have better depth than that.
I agree with Dallas Cowboys for life. Paya played great under Rod Marinelli in Chicago. Rod Marinelli was the Chicago Bears defensive coordinator back in Chicago, and Paya was there with him during that time. That's why they got him on the team, and it just worked out perfectly. He did. You know. But he was a guy that it was under the radar the whole offseason, the whole training camp. You know, and as we saw him progress, the guy is definitely underrated. And you know, he was a high draft pick, but he's underrated. Kind of like Jonathan Cooper, who's another very high draft pick. And again, he was just been injured and kind of kicked around from team to team. And hopefully he's finding his place here in Dallas, because I'm just saying that the way he played last game was much improved from any of the games I've ever seen him play. So far, in training camp and everything. So I agree. Eli is the Jay Cutler of our division. I agree. Cooper Rush impressing as an undrafted, undrafted free agent. That's crazy.
That's the thing. If people
it's kind of like that Madden game coming out.
I feel like people aren't giving him enough credit, and I think that it almost does him a disservice by continuously trying to push the Kellen Moore agenda. But again,
what's up, Mr. Wright? In case you can't hear us, what's up?
So, Mr. Wright, how you doing? Yeah, unfortunately, we are going to be wrapping it up.
Sure, 10 minutes or so. But yeah, we went through everything. You could definitely watch the replay on this. You know, we leave them up so you guys can see it. It's definitely packed full of information.
Yeah, we cover everything from the OBJ and Brandon Marshall injuries to, you know, the entirety of the Cowboys, all the injuries.
Cowboys up and down, who's in, who's out, what the severities are of their injuries. So guys, hey, if you haven't liked this stream yet, please do. Yeah. It helps our, you know, popularity, I guess, to get on those browse features. I don't really know the analytics when it comes to YouTube and when it works, but I know the likes improve people seeing it. So we appreciate it if you do give the likes or thumbs up.
Yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe and hit the little bell down below so you don't miss any notifications on when we go live or when we post a video. And a 20
team fantasy football league we have going.
The link is in the description down below, so just go ahead and click on that if you want to go ahead and join.
It'll be fun, guys. It's just for fun, and we'll do some trash talking in there. So
and it's almost filled up, so get your spot before it does.
6 or 5 spots left, guys. Now let me see some questions here as we wrap this up. Because I think we went over everything, guys, and it was a lot of stuff for a quiet day. It was a lot of stuff, and there was a lot of good stuff, like Cooper being with the second string team out there instead of Moore, which was good. And it wasn't the whole practice. I don't want anybody who's catching this late get your hopes high, but it was good to see him out there for, I think, probably a third or maybe almost a half of the snaps he took was the second team. So again, and which means Moore went with the third team guys. Good sign. Maybe they're starting to hear the chants from Cowboy Nation. Even today, when Kellen Moore threw a long pass, it was a nice pass. I think it was to Bryce Butler, and he caught it. And when he caught it, he threw it to the crowd. And I think the fans were booing because Kellen Moore threw the ball. So the coaches are hearing this. Yeah. They got to wake up to it because you know, it's just too obvious right now. Kellen Moore is not going to give us a future, but Cooper Rush has a future as a backup or a starter somewhere else.
Someone needs to take Marinelli aside and tell him it's time to give up on your dream. Let it go. Marinelli?
No, it wouldn't be Marinelli, baby.
Linehan. Oh my goodness, Linehan.
She's in preseason form, guys.
No,
She's still in her off-season mode right now.
No, sorry. Just you mentioned Marinelli earlier. We were talking about Paella, and it was like the first coach that popped in my head. I'm like, no, that's not it.
He's the defensive coach.
I know. That's
See,
why I said it wrong one, guys.
Help me
sorry.
school her.
You know what? No, it's a Monday. Here, real quick. Thoughts on Goodell getting a new contract? I think Adam Silver would do a better job. I think my child could do a better job. Goodell needs to go.
I saw that Adam Silver. I saw that post earlier today. I agree. You know, first of all, I hate the fact that Goodell is, got his 5-year extension. I hate it. I can't stand it. I think you're going to see some players might strike if things don't work out soon. And I know we have to wait for the collective bargaining agreement, but guys, when that comes, there's going to be a lot of repercussions from all these things that have happened with Zeke or even Tom Brady.
Players Union is definitely taking notice of this stuff, and players should.
Thank you, Sixers.
So Sixers, thank you so much for subbing. Like we said, make sure to hit the little bell so you don't miss any of our notifications.
And Adam Silver, in case anybody doesn't know, I don't think you know, Adam Silver is the NBA commissioner. He took over after David Stern. David Stern really took the NBA and made it a household name. And then Silver has done a good job, taking over. Nobody ever likes the commissioners, but he's done a really good job. So those guys have done a great job in 35 years, 40 years of basketball. Now,
I think in general the NBA is pretty well organized, well run, and they don't seem to have.
Yeah, but it's going down though. Again, they're losing things because of the. I'm not gonna go into a basketball thing, but just because of the whole LeBron and the Cleveland Cavs, and you have Golden State. That's
stacked teams.
Yeah, these stacked teams are not, and it's not good for the NBA.
But again, I think that's a separate issue from the commissioner. But other things
but the
aside,
commissioner, I will say Silver is a decent commissioner, but Goodell is just looking to about him. It's about him saving face. It's about him looking good, and doesn't care about the players. He cares about himself, and the NFL shield, the logo of the NFL, and the NFL money. Don't want to look bad, even though he's looking worse by doing what he's doing. In my opinion, we discussed the Zeke thing a million times, guys, so you know how we feel about that.
So, and Mr. Wright, I wouldn't say Wentz is trash. I mean, he's definitely got some talent, and he's just unfortunately surrounded by not as much talent. But,
yeah, but I mean,
we'll
Wentz is not trash.
He's definitely not trash.
But he's definitely not
trash the Eagles.
Yeah. Let me see. He's not. I mean, he's definitely, because the Cowboys have a better offensive team than Wentz did last year. Of course, Dak looked better, but Dak was drafted, 100-something picks after him. So you know what? There's those two things kind of even out.
Just remember, Tom Brady was drafted in
late,
like
third round or fourth round.
Take drafts with a grain of salt. Obviously, in general, players who are drafted earlier tend to be better, but you never know.
Definitely Wentz and Dak look much better than Jared Goff, who was the #1 overall pick last season.
Yeah. So who was the 6th-round pick from last? Anthony Brown.
Yeah, Anthony Brown was last
Anthony Brown was hands down, other than Dak and obviously other great picks, but Anthony Brown was a great pick. Whoever expected to pick someone in the 6th round that produced as much as he did?
And I will say, how about them Cowboys is correct about what he's saying about that. He handled that fantastic compared to the way Roger Goodell handles the issues with the team owners and with the players and scandals or controversies. I mean, he just shut it down right away, Adam Silver, when that guy, the owner of the Clippers, said those racist things. So, I mean, he did the right thing. He shut it down immediately. Goodell is just made everything. He seems to misstep everything. He's a misstep.
I think it's getting to the point where we have to start forgetting about the NFL commissioner having as much power, and I hope that players somehow bargain to maybe take away.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
Power.
That's not happening until 2023, guys. That's 5 years away. Don't even think about it. 6 years. Yeah. And I will say, Mr. Wright, it's funny you say you missed Tagliabue. I mean, I didn't like Tagliabue that much, but I will say he's better than what we have now. And also, I'm going to say that I remember Pete Rozelle, and that's how far back it goes. That's talking about he started back in the 60s. And but I'm talking about he went into the 80s and 90s, guys. So Pete Rozelle was a good commissioner. He did what David Stern did for the NBA, but he did it with the NFL. So, he's definitely an awesome commissioner. And, even though everybody always hates the commissioners, they seem, but, when you look back, you definitely see the difference between a great commissioner not Goodell, but Pete Rozelle, a decent commissioner like Tagliabue, and then a piece of trash like Roger Goodell. Huge difference. Let me see here.
Just real quick.
Trying to have an offense, I know.
Just pretty interesting. I guess there was some debate on whether or not the hit against Odell was legal or not. But Ian Rappaport is saying here that the hit was legal because the shoulder side of helmet contact to the knee area is legal. I mean, it just looked like some bad timing that he kind of expected Odell to hit the ground a little faster.
I will say he looked like he was going low for sure, guys. I mean, it didn't look like he was going for his waist. He looked like he was going for his legs. again, it's a tough thing because it's in the heat of the moment, and he's like going at him, and he's jumping in the air, so it's kind of a tough situation.
Like I said, I think it was just like a misjudge. I do think it was pretty low, but I don't think he expected to hit him as low as he did.
Misjudged or not, if it's a penalty, it's still a penalty.
No, of course.
But I don't think it was a penalty. It was incidental. It was not anything they did on purpose. You know, obviously the refs are right on top of it. So in the end, I think it was not a dirty play. It wasn't a dirty hit. And I hope the Giants fans don't start. But I hope the Giants fans don't start that whining game about, oh, look, they hurt us.
No offense, but guys. OBJ has a sprained ankle, and he was walking out of there like someone shot his leg.
Yeah, like he had his leg was torn off by a White Walker.
And I understand it hurts, and he's.
How about them Cowboys? We'll see you.
But it just looked really.
And Ian Rappaport's so unreliable. I mean, sometimes he hits it, sometimes he's not. You know, Ian Rappaport could go either way with that. With his reporting, but you know.
So how about them Cowboys? Thank you so much for joining us. We are actually, I think, gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, we're
guys, if you have any last-minute questions, we'll go
let us
over
know.
them.
Anything you missed, you can just watch again. I mean, we're approaching an hour, so guys, we're gonna shut it down here. We do appreciate everybody being here with us, and again, hit like. If you haven't yet, subscribe to us. I know most of you already have, but if you haven't subscribed, and hit the little bell button so you can catch our live streams pretty much daily right now. And of course, there's a fantasy football league. There's about 5 or 6 spots open. Join up if you like trash talking there. It'll be just for beginners or experts, but it's just for fun, guys. No money. And you know, it's this whole thing here is great interacting with you guys and catching you guys, the fans, you know, NFL fans, but mainly Cowboy fans, caught up with our Cowboys team news, injury news, updates, you know, what's going on behind the scenes, whatever we can find out.
With our Cowboys, I mean, we want you guys to have the latest information, bringing you guys the facts, and giving you guys, of course, our thoughts and our opinions based on the facts and what we know. So,
yep, for sure.
You know,
so guys, listen.
Today was, like we said, kind of a slow day. Tomorrow we should have some more news. Of course, any NFC East related injuries as far as the Giants, we'll definitely
keep you updates
updated.
on that. Yeah.
Any Cowboy injuries, any Zeke updates, we'll definitely keep you guys in the loop and let you know. We don't expect any news on the Zeke front until next week in the hearing, but.
Yeah, well, I mean, August 29th, unless something new comes out, we'll post it to our Twitter. Yeah. A lot of times documents or pictures come out, we'll post it to Twitter, so you guys can make your own decisions on that and tell me what you think. Because, I mean, right now I know that we both feel that Zeke has been, you know, kind of been done dirty right now so far. So let's see. But all the evidence that they have and it's been leaked is out on our Twitter page, so you can sign up for that too.
Exactly. So if you want to go ahead and check out our Twitter, we did post some of that information in there.
And thank you, Sixers JT. We appreciate that. You know, I mean, Mark Holmes has a lot more people, so it's a lot crazier there sometimes. And we try to keep it family oriented.
Just more family friendly here for sure. You know, we're not gonna stop you if you say damn or hell. It's not a big deal.
And we don't want to bash and again, I don't think Mark Holmes does that either. But we don't, a lot of these, all these channels out there, they like to bash each other. We're not really about trash talking, although that's cool too, you know, in the right circumstance. But
it's just not what we're here for.
Yeah, we're here
really to focus on the Cowboys mainly
and show us our passion.
And talk to you guys, discuss with you guys, because at the end of the day, you know, we're not going to sit here and tell you guys, oh yeah, the Eagles suck because they
it's not going to be silly.
Well, the Eagles suck because they suck, but outside of that,
we'll give you our true opinions about the Eagles fans or about how
we're going to keep it real here, guys.
Listen, guys, we keep it real about our own team first and foremost. I don't worry about the Eagles or the Giants or the Redskins. We got our own issues that we deal with, you know, with the Cowboys. So, but again, you know, anything like the OBJ injury or Brandon Marshall injury or even I think Derek Barnett got injured the other day, a little tweak here and there. Again, no big deal. I know it's all preseason stuff. Like we've had a S-load of tweaks. But again, guys, you know, just because you know, we want to keep it civil, we want to keep it, you know, a good discussion, a good flow, and not, you know, you guys can trash talk a little bit here as long as you don't curse on our stream. But you know, we like to get the questions from you guys and what's on your guys' minds, whether it's obviously mainly Cowboy stuff, but if it's not, you know, if it's not Cowboy stuff and we kind of gone through everything, you know, shoot us some NFL questions or some NFC East questions, other teams out there. So
and Sixers. Is it really the internet if there aren't trolls out there? You know, honestly,
we're ready for it. No problem.
During the game day stream, since there's a little bit more craziness going on, we do get it. But
we have a couple mods out there.
We do try to keep the mods. We do have some great fans out there who help us out.
Thanks, guys. You know, you got Rack City, Purple Gaming, Amy Can Fly, everybody. Wolf Rider, yeah.
So you know, they help us mod the stream and definitely keep some of the spam and some of the craziness.
Very cool, Sixers. I like to hear feedback from everyone, but I'm glad you like it, Sixers JT. Even though you're a Philly fan, we respect that, and you know, join us again. We're here every day. We do at least one video. Whether in most like the last 2 weeks, we've been doing live streams because the practices have been so late. But our schedules are run really late too, so we'd like to get all the information. when everything's wrapped up, and we give it to you guys here.
Yeah.
You know, a little later, but you know, we're gonna start to move it to about the 8 o'clock Eastern time zone, like time frame, instead of 10 o'clock from now on.
So I will also definitely be posting before Week 1 starts our NFC East video predictions. Just kind of taking a look at every team in the NFC East, kind of, you know, summing it up, seeing how we think they're gonna go start throughout the season, give any updates on their general record, and of course how they're gonna start Week 1. So definitely keep an eye out on that, since I know a lot of you guys out there are Eagle fans or other NFC East team fans. So, you know, whenever you're ready to ditch that team and come to the real NFC East team, let us know.
What's up, Manuel?
Manuel, thanks for joining us. Unfortunately,
I saw him earlier today on the Cowboys, another Cowboys thing. Yeah. So what's up, man? We were ending the stream, but you can come back and watch it.
Yeah, so we give you the whole update on
a lot
OBJ,
of information,
all the Cowboys stuff, who's going to be playing this weekend.
Yeah. If you don't know already, Odell Beckham was hurt today in the Browns game. So was Brandon Marshall. Looks like a sprained ankle for OBJ. Marshall is a shoulder. Don't know how serious they are, but it looks like they're going to keep him out for a while, just on precautionary. I know that's what I would do if I was the Giants. And again, we don't want to see any injuries, but you know, it happens to every team, and and we want the Giants full blast when they come to Dallas to lose to us Week 1. So I seem calm now. When the season starts, I think I get riled. Definitely be here for more live streams.
If you'd like to see some of that, honestly, guys, we've been pre-warning you now already. The preseason games have been very, very mild, but when we're watching the Cowboys and it's a regular season game, we get a little crazy.
We get crazy, guys. We get crazy. And
our kids already know.
We're gonna do our best to not, slip up and curse or anything. But you never know.
Look, we're very passionate when it comes to the Cowboys, so you're gonna see our real reactions, our real emotions,
and our comments and our analyzing of every play. I am crazy. I bug them too much. I talk every play about when we're not doing this. I'm saying last year, since I've been watching football, I just talk all the time about every play, between plays, so you'll hear me rambling on and on. But we have a room where we have to go to sometimes to just unleash. So we'll go in that room. One of us will disappear one time, and another one will disappear because maybe it's a bad play. We just got to reset ourselves so we don't go crazy on crazy on video.
Definitely make sure to come back and check us out for our game day live streams. We'll be streaming the preseason game this weekend against the Raiders, and next week's final preseason game, of course.
And into the regular season, into the playoffs, all the way up into the Super Bowl where we're going to win.
Guys, again, we are less than 3 weeks away from having real football again.
Yes, can't wait.
I am so excited.
Yeah, and Noah Henderson. Hello, haven't seen you in the stream.
Thanks for joining us, Noah. How you doing?
Yep, and Manuel. Yes, it is juicy. A lot of stuff. OBJ, a lot of injury stuff on our team. We got to worry about first about Jordan Lewis. Unfortunately, bad news with him. Keith Smith didn't play. Gathers are still out. All our rookie corners are kind of out today. Yeah. And our safety Xavier Woods.
Switzer should hopefully be
Switzer
in this
back.
Weekend's game.
No setbacks. He'll be back for this game. So guys, it's all good. Just check back and get all the information. Hey, man. Awesome, man.
But no, you see, that's how you do it. This is
exactly.
Right?
See?
You convert them.
She was never anywhere else, so it was going to be Cowboys or no football. So she got on board the right team.
So, all right, guys. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. We are looking forward to having all you crazy fans joining us. Crazy fans.
We join it together.
Enjoying, relaxing, giving you guys our thoughts. Definitely make sure to check us out tomorrow when we do go live again. And as always, don't forget.
Go Cowboys! Guys, take care.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Bye.
And we see you guys tomorrow.